Customer experience in times of high inflation. This is probably the question I got most of the time in the past few weeks and months. Stephen, how do we need to deal with this situation, where customers have less money to spend, or where people are watching their money closer and are thinking more in depth about which products they will buy or will not buy? How do we deal with this in terms of customer experience? And in my opinion, there's a short-run answer and there's a long-run answer to this question. Reality is that in the short run, a lot of companies are really looking for short-term measures to keep their situation safe. And very often that has an opposing interest for the customer. Like, one of the consequences, of course, that we see a lot of price increases in many industries. Now, the question is, how do you deal with that? In some industries, you don't have another choice than to increase your prices or you go out of business. I think three things are really crucial if you need to increase your prices. It needs to be very transparent, where you tell the real story to your customers about the situation and how you will increase prices. I think you need to be proactive and honest. It shouldn't be a surprise. It's better to warn people up front, to tell them what's happening. Be very open in your communication about the reasons why you are increasing the prices. And the last one is often overlooked, but brief your team about this storyline. People on the floor might get a lot of complaints, may get a lot of questions from customers who are complaining about the fact that prices are increasing. If then the team is like, yeah, I know, it's something the boss decided, if that is the answer, that doesn't bring anything or value to the customer. The team needs to be aware of the storyline, the team needs to be aware of the reasons why, and share that story with the same conviction as someone else in the organization would do. And that kind of on-the-floor communication from employee to customer, that can make a huge difference in the way that it is perceived. So the last one, brief your team, I think that is the most important one that is very often overlooked in customer experience strategies at this time. And of course, there's always an opportunity for other companies. Some companies are not increasing their prices. And I think it's smart, if you are in that situation, to actually communicate about that. Like, most of you know that I'm a fan of Club Rouge. We became for the 18th time Belgian champions in Belgian soccer. But for next season, they announced that they will not increase the prices of the annual tickets. If you want to buy an annual ticket, you have your subscription, you have a ticket for every game. They don't increase the prices, and they actually communicate that in a very formal and a very loud way, which I think is a smart strategy to do. So going back to how to deal with price increase or with inflation in customer experience, price increase is one part of the story. Another thing that a lot of companies are going through right now is cost cutting. We need to save money to protect our margin. Very often, cost cutting is happening in customer service at this time. So if you need to cut costs in customer service, how to do this in a smart way. And I just want to come back to the book that I talked about last month, Moments, the Power of Moments. I think we need to use this strategy today if you downside the cost of customer experience. The story of the book is very simple. They actually say that if you would measure every single interaction that a customer has with your company, the average score may be 6.5. But if they have a number of interactions that are really, really outstanding and surprising and positive, the overall feeling gets to a 9 or a 9.5. And I think this is a strategy that we need to take into account. If we cut costs in customer service, really think, where are we going to create a positive surprise? Where are we going to have this one moment that is conversational, that is worth a word of mouth afterwards in a positive way? And if you choose those moments in the right way, you can actually improve your word of mouth afterwards while you're decreasing your costs in other places in the customer experience. I think that's one side of the story. The second one, of course, if you need to cut costs on customer service, optimize self-service. Make sure that people can figure out how to solve problems themselves. One of the best examples that I still know in the world out there is by Coolblue, a Dutch e-commerce company. What they do is they constantly monitor the kind of questions that come in their contact center. And for repetitive questions, they make a video that actually solves that problem. So they make hundreds and thousands of videos. Every week they post videos to explain things, to help people choose between product A or product B, or how to install a new TV, for instance. And they share these videos to customers who actually bought a product that is related to the question that they may have. And these thousands of videos, today they have more than 130 million views with all those videos. And this is some sort of a self-service channel that they created that works perfectly to help people and is reducing the amount of calls that are coming into the contact center. So for the short run, these are just some of the ideas that I wanted to share. If you have to increase your price, brief the team, do it in a transparent and proactive way. Cost cutting, I understand, but then think about the moments. What is going to be the crucial moment where you still create this moment of happiness? And how can you improve your self-service in a digital way? And if you don't increase prices, just say it to people so that they know. That's a short-run game. If we think about the long run, how to deal with customer experience in a world of high inflation in the long run, then this is for me the crucial question. Are you willing to hurt yourself as a company in the short run to win trust in the long run? Are you willing to go through some pain right now to keep the relationship with the customer strong? And I just want to use my offer you can't refuse model to explain my point of view to this. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the model that I used in my latest book, saying like the minimum demand today in the market is that you need a good product, service, and price, and you need great digital convenience. Actually, these two helped us through. I mean, digital convenience was what we needed and new digital models to get through it. But that's only half of the story. I think that the bottom two of this model, good product and service, digital convenience, creates a transactional relationship, whereas the top of the model, partner in life, which means a more in-depth customer relationship and adding value to society, creates a more emotional relationship. And the bottom two here helped you through in a transactional way. The top two will have to get you through the times of high inflation. Because if you succeed today in really bringing value to the customer and to society, you can create a more emotional relationship that is more enduring, that will keep people loyal to your brand at this time. Help people create positive change in their life. That's the partner in life. And show the world that you really care. Like, imagine that you're in the restaurant business. Okay, I want to make a reservation in an easy way. That's transactional. But what if people can't afford to go to a restaurant right now? Maybe for a year and a half, they won't have the money to come to your restaurant as frequent as they did. Why don't you help them out? Why don't you figure out a way how to do home deliveries in a cheaper way? Or why don't you, sell the ingredients and you make a video with how to make that meal in a way that it's similar to how you would serve it in your restaurant? And if you have leftovers, how can you use those to feed people who are suffering today to, make ends meet? Those are the kind of things that really make a difference today. Those are the stories that will stand out. If you're in real estate, you can sell a house. That's transactional. But what if you help people? What if people today are really in the need to find a new house and they have a limited budget? Can you really show that you care and that you really want to find the right house? And people who are suffering, imagine that you're a landlord, you're renting out to people. If people cannot afford the rent, can you install a system to make them overcome that short period of time? Because, energy prices went up, food prices went up. Just lowering the rent for a few weeks or a few months could help them out to have a decent life. Maybe we could do that. Are you willing to hurt yourself in the short run to create trust in the long run? That is the crucial question that is on everyone's plate today. And I think this offer you can't refuse model can really help to understand how to build that emotional relationship. Now, truth is, in this model, it goes from the bottom up. So it won't help if you are saving the world, but if you're not helping your customer. A lot of people, especially in these tough times, a lot of people are like, it's customer first and then society second. So make sure that if you follow this model, that the positive change that you create goes first to the customer, and afterwards you extend that to society, not the other way around. But I'm convinced that this is the way forward in the long run, and to win and to get out of this period as a winner, to invest in that emotional relationship with your customer. That is, in my opinion, how you will get through these times of high inflation. And just as an ending note on this topic, cost cutting used to be something for companies. Today, as an organization, you have to be aware of the fact that customers are also in cost cutting mode. So you have to make sure that they don't cut you out of their budget. That's going to be the challenge for the next couple of months and maybe years. Who knows?